What is going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of the Halftime Hatch here at Bourbon Broncos at No BS. My name is Kev Dan. Guys, Broncos are up 17-0 with a little less than 2 minutes left on the clock. The Buccaneers have the ball on about the half-yard line, although there was just a penalty. So we're going to see what that penalty was. Hopefully we can hold them to just field goal. Either way, this last drive by the Buccaneers has been rough on our defense as the Bucs have changed a couple things, threw in some misdirections, and really kind of just threw us for a loop there. So post your comments, post your questions. I'm going to do some call-outs on the rest of this half because the Broncos will get the ball back. So, of course, we have 2 timeouts. Hopefully we have a chance to drive down the field and get a couple points on the board there. But see what we're going to do here. It is 2nd and goal from the 5.5-yard line. Mayfield to throw into the end zone, caught, touchdown. Okay, so Broncos will get the ball back with about 1:45 left or so. Score is 17-7. So let's just start with that, guys. Who would have thought going into this game that the score would have been Broncos 17 at half at all? I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous in an amazingly good way. Really, really good things from the Broncos offense going out there. Bo Nix, pull up some stats here. Bo Nix hitting some passes right off the bat, which big surprise, right? We've talked about all the issues with the Broncos run game and everything going on right there. But looking at the box score, Bo Nix is 13 for 16. 13 for 16 and 124 yards passing, averaging 7.8 yards per pass, 0 interceptions. Rating of 99.0. Now, here's the non-surprising thing, guys. What did we talk about this entire last week? If you saw any of our content, any of our podcast shows, videos, what did we talk about when it came to the run game? Bo Nix is Broncos' lead running back. And what do we have here today, guys? After the first half, well, at least so far until this drive, we have Bo Nix sitting on top of the leaderboard when it comes to the Broncos running at 16 yards in 4 carries. Jaleel McLaughlin, number 2, 11 yards on 4 carries. Javonte Williams, of course, he had that fumble just a little bit ago. 10 yards on 4 carries. So running game is not looking good with the exception of Bo Nix and him scrambling. At least one designed quarterback run that got us a first down there. So look, Bo Nix is, again, carrying the team when it comes to the run game. Now, thankfully, the offensive line is really, I think, stepping up when it comes to the pass protection. Our run game is just not there. Javonte Williams is struggling, guys. I think I'm safe. I'm feeling safe to say at this point, Javonte is just – he's not back. Whoever he was in his rookie year, after he got that injury last year, he's just not back yet. I don't see the explosion, the explosive, moves. I don't see the cuts. I don't see the yards after contact. I mean, how many times do we see him just plowing through people in his first year? And we didn't see that. We haven't seen that at all this year. And on top of that, he's had 2 fumbles this year, and it's just not him. So I don't know what we're going to do. Obviously, we're going to continue to struggle, in this running back room for the time being. At least until we get, let's see. Yeah, Blake Watson is out still. So we have some trouble here on the running back front, guys, but we will see what we can do. Post your comments, post your questions. I want to hear what you have to say on the first half of the game here. Do want to give a shout out to all of the fans who've been commenting on our posts as we go through the first half here. Allison especially is a longtime fan, one of the OG fans here at Bourbon Broncos No BS. So mile high salute to you, Allison. Thank you for all your support. Okay, Broncos are about to get the ball back here, so we'll see what they're able to do. But again, I'm just hoping that we can move the ball down the field into field goal range, eat enough time off the clock that the Tampa doesn't have any thoughts of getting the ball back, because they do start the second half with the ball. So we need to make sure we, at the very least, keep it out of their hands to end this half, because we're going to need to be able to come out there and stop them again after halftime. Ball is in the air going into the end zone, and that is a touchback. Broncos will get the ball on their 30-yard line with about 1:45. Let me see if I can get the time up here for everybody. 1 minute and 50 seconds left. So here we go, guys. We'll see what they do. Obviously, man, it's an interesting situation. You only have one timeout left, actually. I thought they had two. So you had a strong running game, maybe, but we're going to want to utilize the sidelines here, I would think, getting to the outside. Total yards, 165 for the Broncos. I don't know if they had 165 total yards in the last two games. Bo Nix with a throw, 5-yard catch by number 84. I think that's Humphrey. Yeah, LJ himself, Lil Jordan Humphrey. Okay, 2nd and 5. Clock is ticking, 1:31 left. 25 on the play clock. Ball is snapped, thrown over to, is that 14? Is that Cortland? It is Cortland with another catch again coming clutch. 1:20 on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Still outside of field goal range by a good bit. They're on their own 45-yard line. So probably a good 30 to 40 yards to get in a safe field goal range. Big throw. 1st down. Tampa side of the field. Tampa 48-yard line. Big catch by number 82 there. I like that. So moving the ball down the field. Again, Bo Nix accuracy looking good. Some underthrown balls this game. There was one to Court, especially where I think he could have caught it, but it was probably 3 or 4 yards too short. So overall, Bo Nix really just moving this offense down the field. Back in shotgun formation again. Bo Nix getting the hike. Pressure coming. Another catch. 6, 7, 8-yard gain. 8-yard gain. Love it. Humphrey again. Man, LJ's coming in clutch, guys. I love this. Okay. Broncos just about in field goal range. 2nd and 2. 45 seconds on the clock. Still one timeout left. Let's see if they try to go for the end zone here. They even think about it. Bo Nix scrambling. Getting to the 1st down marker. Get out of bounds, dude. Out of bounds at the 29-yard line. 30-yard line. So you have some time here to take a couple shots if you want. Still one timeout. You just got to really start paying attention to that clock because obviously you want to save that timeout for your field goal unit if you need it. But got to be careful. We're also not giving the ball away. Look, moving the ball down the field, obviously really good. I think a lot of prevent defense here from Tampa Bay, which is allowing us to get these completions, but not giving up the touchdown, right? So as we get closer to the end zone, that's going to tighten up a lot. So we're really going to have to be careful here. We don't cause any turnovers. Broncos throwing into double coverage, caught by number 19. I love this, guys. 23 seconds on the clock, counting down. 2nd and 1. Ball on the 19-yard line, definitely field goal range, not a problem there. Good chip shot. And, incomplete. Good defense there. Yeah, aiming for Troy Franklin. Just good defense. He maybe could have caught that. It was thrown a little far to the outside, but I think that was so it wouldn't be intercepted. Yeah, that one was tough. Could I have caught the ball? No. Hey, guys, stand by. Halftime hash will start soon. As soon as halftime starts, we got 11 seconds on the clock. Broncos, one timeout left still. I imagine they're going to go for the end zone here once or twice. Broncos. Ooh, no. Bo, throw it. Okay, got back to the line of scrimmage. Incomplete. 6 seconds on the clock. We're just going to go for the field goal, guys. Holy crap. We're looking at potentially here, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it, going up 20. In fact, Broncos, I see my screen's a little behind. It's halftime, guys. Broncos 20. Tampa Bay 7. Holy crap. Here we go, guys. Tracy. Oh, man. Glad to be doing it. I can't do that all game. I really can't. I wish I could. But I at least get it for a couple minutes for you guys as we start the halftime hash show. Guys, halftime is here. Can you believe it? Broncos are up. Let's go through some of these numbers, guys. Again, post your comments, post your questions. This is a game that we are going to want to talk about. No real bad news here for the Broncos. Of course, if you look back to the start of the game, Broncos only had about a 30% chance to win. Here we are. Broncos are now looking at an 80% chance win probability halfway through the game. If you put money on the Broncos to win to start the game, you're probably looking pretty happy right now, I would say. More stats. We talked about the run game a little bit. The Broncos run game is hurting. Right now, passing-wise, Bo Nix has sent 18 for 23, 169 yards. I mean, that is amazing. But, of course, the problem still is in the Broncos rushing game. Bo Nix still leading with 5 carries, 21 yards. The rest of the running back room is just not even close. In fact, if you if you add up the next two top running backs, Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams, if you add up their running yards, they have the same number of running yards total that Bo Nix does. Moving over to reception, I don't want to talk about the running back room for a hot minute or so. Courtland Sutton looking like he's in his old form there. 4 receptions, 55 yards. Josh Reynolds coming in clutch, number 2. He only has 1 reception, but 31 yards. That is huge. Now, where Javonte is kind of showing himself is in the run game a little, or is in the passing game. He has 3 receptions for 21 yards. Lil Jordan Humphrey here at the end of the first half got some receptions, 4 total for 16 yards. So, look, no Dulcich on the boards, no targets for him at all. But it looks like we're trying to spread the ball out a good bit. Troy Franklin, he's 2 for 4, 11 yards. Not great. Defense. Look, defense until this last drive by the Buccaneers has been looking phenomenal. However, all of a sudden, Broncos defense just kind of let them start running all over them. Now, to their credit, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did start changing some things up, doing some misdirections, some fancy plays, some trickery, just to get something going. They obviously can't sustain that the entire game, I don't think, because the Broncos are going to key in on that. They're going to look at these plays here at halftime. Vance Joseph. Look, this time last year, guys, Vance Joseph, I mean, we were calling for his head. Broncos had just lost 70-20 in Florida. Here we are a year later, playing a 2-0 team, and we are up 17-7. 20-7. Sorry, 20-7 at halftime. I mean, this is not what we expected at all. Anthony, so far, so good. Knock on wood, dude. Good to see you here. Everyone, keep posting your comments and questions. I think almost all of our score predictions from this morning have kind of gone out the window with a whole second half here to play. Obviously, this game could kind of turn on its side here when the Buccaneers get the ball back. The defense has to go out there and stop them. If the Bucs score any points on their opening drive, we have a whole different kind of second half game. But if we're able to hold them 20-7, get some more points ourselves, like that's going to feel really, really good for us. Some other things throughout the game that we saw, Broncos a little bit more hurried in terms of getting to the line sometimes. One thing that kind of surprised me, it was 4th and inches on our first touchdown, I believe it was, or maybe it was our second one. 4th down, we just lost the challenge because it kind of did look like Williams had broken the plane, but there was just no real good view of it. I don't know why we don't have just like 1 or 2 4th and goal calls like already made. It kind of was weird that they had to talk about it a little bit even after the challenge. It seemed like, okay, if it's 4th and goal from the half-yard line, here's what we do. They didn't have that plan, so I thought that was a little okay. So maybe just new offense. I'm kind of getting, it's weird. I'm kind of getting what's the word? I'm nitpicking a bit because in general this game has looked really good. This is not looked like the Broncos from the first 2 games at all. Joey, how you doing? Williams not having a great season, dude. I was just talking about that earlier. Williams is concerning me big time because this is the guy going into the season. If we rewind a few weeks, going into the game against Seattle, my big thing was Bo Nix is going to struggle because he's a rookie quarterback, right? We have got to find a way to help him overcome just the pressure of being in Seattle, being a new quarterback in the NFL. And we're really going to rely on that run game, right? And that's where I was like, wow, we got Williams back there. Williams is going to be able to really help us out. But what we've seen is Williams has been more of a liability on the offense than any sort of help. I mean, he's the 3rd leading rusher on the team right now with only 10 yards in 4 carries. So not good numbers from Williams at all, to include the fumble that he lost there. So, ball protection, he is not getting any yards after contact. In fact, I bet you if I pulled up some stats tomorrow, when I look at yards after contact, Williams is not going to look good there. Jaleel McLaughlin, I mean, he is kind of if I had to pick a hero for the first half, guys, I would say Jaleel McLaughlin, because that touchdown run on the fourth down, where for some reason we decided to toss it to the outside and almost got stopped 5 yards back. Somehow Jaleel McLaughlin was swifty enough and shifty enough that he was able to move around and barely get into the end zone. But you know what? Barely counts. Either way, Jaleel McLaughlin right now is sitting as, probably right there with Bo Nix in terms of offensive heroes. Defensively, I don't remember who got the interception for the Broncos. I'd have to look at that. Denver interception. Brandon Jones, number 22. Plus, then he ran it back 37 yards, basically put it within goal to go for the Broncos. Like that was absolutely huge. Let's see. Joey, I think Estime ends up taking his job when he comes back as our every down bruiser. Look, I mean, Estime didn't really do too much in the first game. Obviously, first game for a rookie, like how much do you really expect? But didn't really see anything out of him. But he's going to have to. Something has to change in this running back room. Either Williams has to step up, or when Estime comes back, Williams is going to be in a world of hurt. Because, at that point, we're going to be looking to probably trade Williams after this year or something. If he doesn't turn it around, Williams needs to be the guy that the offense can lean on, and he's not it right now. We are having to lean on our rookie quarterback, not just lean on, but like put the weight of the game on our rookie quarterback. And that's a recipe for disaster. Today it's working out well because we came out just slinging the ball down the field and basically saying, fine, you guys are going to load the box? Fine, load the box. We'll make you pay for throwing the ball. And Bo Nix kind of it seemed like he went out there nice and calm, like, okay, I've been through this twice already. Enough of this bull crap. We're just going to throw the ball down the field and open up the run game a little bit. Hasn't really transpired in much of anything. I mean, only 46 rush yards, half of those basically coming from Bo Nix, but whatever, we'll take it. Chris, the right tackles are doing good. Yeah, I mean, in general, the offensive line, especially in the pass game, is doing good. Joey, that was a very dumb play call. Yeah, I don't get it. You have the time of the challenge to talk about what play you're going to call if it's not overturned, and that's what you come up with. I'm scratching my head big time at that. If we're talking about Sean Payton's decision making, I mean, it worked barely. So I don't want to give him too much credit. I think it was a stupid call that Jaleel made work. I don't think that the credit should really go to Sean Payton on that play call at all, but that's just me. Jones, thank you for that, man. I appreciate you guys helping. You guys are carrying me through the show. This is fantastic. 2 carries for 14 yards. Who is that? 2 carries for 14 yards. I don't see that one here. Cade Oten on Tampa Bay has 2 receptions for 14 yards, but that's all I see, Joey. Which player are you talking about? Joey, Williams is a free agent after this year. Okay, yeah, if that's the case, then I don't think the Broncos are going to chase him. They're not going to offer him any big money deal. He can maybe stay with the team, but probably in a different capacity in terms of, we're going to be looking at Estime taking over if Williams doesn't get this thing going, because this is his 3rd year. I get that he was injured last year, or he was injured the year before that, and last year he was just trying to not get re-injured. And so last year we gave him a pass of, okay, you're back from an injury. It's not great, but we're just glad you're back, and expecting him to take that big leap this offseason. And it's not transpired through 2.5 games so far. In fact, again, I'm going to go back to saying it. Williams right now is looking at like the biggest liability on the offense. And that is bad. Paula, thanks for all your comments and everything through the first half as well. Glad you're here. Very awesome first half. Did not think I'd be this happy sitting here at halftime with you all. I was kind of dreading it at the start of the game, and then here we are. Things are looking good. Yeah, Estime, his first game, he was 2 for 14. So, again, it's just one of those things where I think we were planning on Williams being the bell cow, or at least, being that guy. But now that he is not, he has a few weeks until Estime comes back to kind of redeem himself, starting with the second half here. But once Estime comes back, if Williams hasn't turned it around, yeah, you could probably, I mean, I would expect and want Estime to get the majority of the touches at that point and really see what we have in the guy, because that's going to impact what we do in the offseason if we re-sign Williams or let him go and really just lean on Estime moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see, and obviously that's a long time from now, and we're talking about 2.5 games in, but you're talking about a veteran like Williams. And again, what he did in his rookie year, we know he can do it. So where is it? Where is it, dude? Because this is why we need you. This is why we kept you over Pirine and all those guys, right? This is why we kept you. And it's just not looking good, man. Allison, keep it up in the second half. Hell yeah. Hopefully the Broncos will keep it up as well. That defense has got to figure it out after the Bucs' last drive there. So just calm down. Just if I'm telling the defense anything, just calm down, do your job, keep the ball in front of you, and let's limit those big runs they got there at the end of the first half from some of their trickery that they were doing. Keith, Pookie Williams, last player jersey I bought. I'm losing faith buying Tyler Beatty. I would hold off on buying a Tyler Beatty jersey quite yet. Just do what I do and personalize all your jerseys, man. That way, when players come and go, it's not a problem. Tyler Beatty is a good third string running back. I don't think he's going to do anything other than that. I think once Estime comes back, Tyler Beatty will go back to the practice squad or maybe just stay on special teams. But I don't think he's going to do much of anything once Estime comes back. Now, it could be something where next year, we'll see what happens if he develops into something. But as of right now, I would not jump to buying a Tyler Beatty jersey. Maybe a Sutton jersey, maybe a Knicks jersey. But past that, there's not many people on offense that I'd really buy a jersey for. Okay, guys, we got the second half coming up really quickly as we get to more comments and questions here. I want to remind you all of the other Broncos content we have going on. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. And search for Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS. I'll try to pull that up here for everybody. Also, don't forget we have our post-game podcast Mondays, and that'll be published by Tuesday on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your podcast. We also got our Tuesday night flagship show, Bourbon, Broncos, and No BS. That starts every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. So get ready for it, guys. We will be there. We will be live taking your comments and questions for an hour or so. Then we got our pre-game podcast. Again, same podcast platforms. Game day. We have our game day tailgate talk 1 hour before kickoff. We're live. And then every game day, halftime hash. We are live here as well. At least we try to be. When we're home, it's kind of tougher because a lot of us like to go to home games. So we try our best for you guys. Now, Broncos are coming back out here before too long. Tampa Bay will get the ball to start the second half. Here are some things that we really, really, really need to watch out for. Penalties. We have got to make sure we stay clean, penalty-wise. The Broncos were just, driving down the field. Could have gotten another touchdown, had a self-field goal due to some penalties. So those two penalties just really, really hurt us there as we were trying to get that touchdown. Look, the score's 20-7. Who would have thought that? I can't be upset by it, right? Again, we're looking for progress. If we're talking about, did this team progress in the first half? Yeah, there are major improvements that we can point to between the first two games and this game. And so obviously I'm wanting us to win. I'm not saying that that's not important to me, but what's more important is this team improving? Because after what we saw in the first 2 weeks there was zero improvement, maybe even taking some steps back. Now we're seeing a lot of positive momentum. We put 20 points on the board in the first half. That is amazing. We were driving the ball. Defense was looking great. Like we were looking like a team that had all three phases of football kind of really put together until the end of the first half, and defense kind of lost a little bit there. But again, Vance Joseph, I think they're going to pick it back up. They'll be fine. But you cannot count Tampa Bay out. Now, let's say Tampa Bay comes back and wins this game. Am I going to be all super angry and butthurt? Yeah, I'm going to be disappointed. But again, we're looking at this is a rebuild year. Can this team show improvement? Can they, make changes, move forward? We got some tough teams coming up. We got the Jets next week. We got the Raiders after that, thankfully at home. But if we can, just continue to show that improvement and get to winning 7-8 games this year, that would be phenomenal, right? I mean, we're talking about putting ourselves in a really good position going into next year. And so we're really early on in the rebuild process here, guys. And to see this kind of change between week 2 and week 3 against a very tough team on the road, that's big. It'd be one thing if, some other crappy team came to Denver and we started looking good. Well, of course, I would hope we would look good against another 0-2 team. But the fact that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 2-0 and they started their season beating the Commanders, okay, whatever. But then beating the Lions in Detroit. So this Tampa team is for real. Baker Mayfield is a solid quarterback, and we're doing a great job. Anyway, guys, football game is back. Let's get ready for it. Thank you for joining me here. My name is Kev Dan. This is the Halftime Hash on Bourbon Broncos, no BS. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube below to get all our other videos and all our other content. Check out our podcast. Check out our live shows. We'll see you later. Guys, Broncos football is here. We are looking good. Let's get that dub. As always, I don't think there's anything left to say other than end it, as we always do, on a very strong Go Broncos. Take care, guys.